much. The Nigerian Air Force has announced the sharing of what it calls terrorist propaganda following a video of the wreckage of an aircraft with bodies of military victims in Niger State. It's then calling for more patriotism among Nigerians. The Air Force says fatalities, mishaps and crashes are inevitable in all military organizations involved in counterinsurgency operations. The Air Force also admonishes citizens aiding and abetting terrorists by spreading propaganda media from the crashed site to stop so and not to bring down the morale of troops and families of the deceased officers. They promised to take on the bandits and other terrorists. The spokesman of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Edward Gabkwet, joins us now in the studio. Thank you, Air Commodore, for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, you talk about propaganda and urging citizens to stop propaganda and spreading news that could spread scare down the spines of citizens. But then, what do you make of the recent air crashes around the country? How do we explain these?
Yeah, so again, thank you for having me on your program. I've said it severally, air crashes that involves military aircrafts are not immune to the Nigerian Air Force. There are things that happen worldwide to any country that can boast of a fleet of aircraft. Mm-hmm. Either you are in training of your pilots or in an operation. Either way, the likelihood of having fatalities are just there. And in our case, we have found ourselves involved in counterinsurgency and counterterrorism operations, mm-hmm. and at the same time, the training of pilots. So you would expect that once we are involved in these types of operations, the likelihood of accidents are just going to occur. It is not immune to only Nigeria. Mm. The only place you will not hear of military aircrafts are in countries or in militaries that don't even have those aircrafts to fly. But as long as you're airborne, like the Nigerian Air Force, like the US Air Force, like the South African Air Force, like the Egyptian Air Force, all of these countries have very strong air forces. Definitely, fatalities are bound to, occur. So it's not a new thing, right. And it's not something. Let me just add. And it's not something we shy away from talking about, and it's not something that we are ashamed of talking about because it happens.
Great. I mean, it's good to know. But when one air crash too many happens, it begins to raise concerns, in the mind of Nigerians. I mean, I don't even want to count the number that's happened with the Air Force this year, 2023 alone. How much of a setback, really, are these crashes? And when they do happen, do you investigate to know exactly what the cause is? Is it machine or is it human error or what? What have been your findings so far?
Okay, I respectfully don't agree with you that we have had too many crashes, because the Chief of Air Staff said this yesterday when the governor of Niger State came to see him. Look, the number of aircraft accidents you have in any armed forces is directly proportional to the amount of flyings that you do. So that is just there. You fly more, you are likely going to have more plane crashes. And in fact, if you look at the number of flights that the Air Force has taken since its inception in 1964 to about 2015, it is not as much as what we've had from that 2015 till today. So the level of flying has increased so much. Why? Because the federal government has invested a lot in the Nigerian Air Force. So that is the reason. So that's why we feel this tendency of people assuming that we have had so many crashes. I'm honestly going to tell you that that is not the case.
Can you tell us really how many Air Force crashes you've had this year, without it coming from me?
We've had two.
Two in 2023?
Yes,
right.
Two. One in Makurdi where the pilots, ejected. And that is what we want to hear. You know, when we have these fatalities, we don't want to hear that we've lost
right,
pilots
that's
and all that. Yes.
This aircraft,
Yes,
was it shot down by bandits? Because you were quoted as saying that you would not be intimidated by bandits or terrorist propaganda and all of that. Was this particular aircraft, the latest one, was it shot down by bandits?
It is what we are not very certain about, and that is why we are still investigating. And that's why we've cautioned Nigerians, when terrorists post videos out, you shouldn't just continue to churn them out and send them out without even confirming whether they are the truth or not. Because when you do that, you are only aiding and abetting what they are doing. And should we be the ones to assist the terrorists in propagating what they want the Nigerians to hear? Of course not. I think what we should do is to discourage them from these acts that they are forced on us. They have divided families, they have divided communities. Look at the number of IDPs we're having all over the country. These people come in the name of a religion, yet what they do is at variance with that religion. So how can we now be the ones helping them propagate what they're doing? So that's what we're telling Nigerians. We have to sit back and think twice about what we're doing. You are not helping yourselves. You are not helping the armed forces. You are not helping the nation if you continue to be used by these terrorists to propagate all of these things they are doing.
Commodore, when you say that you've had 2 air crashes in 2023,
yes,
does that include, does that data include the belly landing without casualties?
Well, have we had
okay,
any?
now, well, in any case, between 2015 and 2023,
yes,
a record has it that you've had 16 air crashes.
I think I saw that on I think leadership, right?
The bottom line now,
yes,
the bottom line now is what can be done? What can be done to regain the trust of citizens in your services?
Okay, first of all, I saw that report, I think, on leadership yesterday, or day before yesterday.
No, it's not just...
I think it's false. We've not had 15 crashes since 2015. No. Okay. We have had about 8 or 9 or 10, I can't remember, but not
8
15.
or 9 or 10?
Yes, about that, yes. But 2015 to today, how many years is
not
that?
16, 8
That's about 8 years ago.
Right.
Yes. About 2 months ago, we gave an analysis. We looked at it from 2015 to now. It's just about barely 0.9% crash per year. And I think that's a very good record for any armed forces with the fleet of, with the number of flights that we take on every day against these terrorists all over the country. Southeast, southwest, everywhere. North central, northwest, northeast.
All right.
Aircrafts are flying every day. Sorry,
yeah, okay.
you mind if I just...
Please, go ahead.
Look, measures will continue to be in place. Okay. Measures have also been in place in terms of safety. We have an Institute of Safety in Oshobo with a school of flight safety there. All our pilots go there every year to make sure that they get a current on modern safety measures.
Amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So these things are ongoing. It's not just a one-off thing. You know, security audits of all our operational units is a continuous process. And these measures are in line with best practices, ICAO best practices. We have also been collaborating with foreign air forces. The U.S. Air Force is one of the air forces we continue to collaborate with in terms of ensuring that we enhance our safety measures. So all of these things are there. But I keep on saying this. As long as this security situation continues, flight by our pilots will definitely increase, and the likelihood of accidents will always be there.
But Nigerians would always expect you to come, be upfront with them as to the factors that may have contributed to those crashes.
But you see,
you want to promise us that you'll be giving Nigerians those information?
No, what I want to promise Nigerians is that we, like every military, want to take lessons from these accidents rather than make it a public show. Yes, that is what all air forces do. We are not different from any other air force in the world.
We'll have to say thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight tonight. Director of Nigeria Air Force Public Relations, Air Commodore Edward Gabkwet. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.